Good indicators for Indiana's economy, despite news that a plant in Frankfurt will lay off nearly 100 workers.
Niccole, why the hike?
Jeff, that is an excellent question, and it's one even the experts are struggling to answer. If you take a look at the sign, you can see regular gas $4.15 a gallon. He says it's much more likely that the current mayor, Tony Rosworski, will continue serving right here at City Hall for another term. A slight cool down. Is temperature still in the 90s?
I know we're trying to see the silver lining here. It's not 101 like it was yesterday. That's the good thing.
Is that going to actually feel cooler, though?
This big sign, it's hard for drivers to miss. It's a reminder to slow down.
Out here you see the News Channel 18 air conditioners, and you can hear them humming away. They run 24/7. Another day of sweltering heat, but now possibly rain on the way. Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans joins us in the forecast center. Chad, that rain certainly welcomed.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see, the building, only a shell left here at All-American Awards on Glick Street in Mulberry tonight. I can still see flames shooting from the inside and, of course, smoke billowing out of the building. This is a mainstay in Mulberry, this business. It's an engraving business that did awards like trophies and plaques. Firefighters tell me they think that the flames started about 5 o'clock this evening, and they think they will be here all night long trying to make sure this fire is put out. 2 firefighters so far have been taken to the hospital because of heat exhaustion fighting this fire. We are trying to find out their condition. This fire so big you could see it from miles around. The smoke was visible from I-65. It billowed thick and black from the All-American Awards building in Mulberry.
We were at McCutcheon High School. Just got done with my daughter's soccer practice, and we just saw smoke.
It was the smoke that tipped off the owner of a neighboring business. Something was wrong.
I walked around the building and checked all the doors, make sure nobody was still in there. I checked the windows. I didn't see anybody, so then I called 911.
The black smoke quickly gave way to intense, bright orange flames. Another neighboring business owner says he couldn't believe how fast they devoured the building.
Flames just pushed out everywhere. And like you said, the walls start coming down and building's pretty much destroyed.
Here's video from a viewer who watched the flames eat through the building. The Madison Township Fire Chief says the fire began in the back of the building. Firefighters from surrounding locations rushed to help, but still, little could be done to put a stop to the flames.
Crews from a place I haven't heard of, Perryville, there's I think about 8 different fire departments out here. Half the towns out here, most towns out here watching it.
It's one of the biggest fires I've ever seen.
All-American Awards has been a mainstay in Mulberry for 21 years. It's a place people who live in the town say is painful to watch burn.
You just hate to see like this happen anywhere, no matter where you go.
They have a bulldozer out here. If you can take a look behind me, it's trying to clear some of the debris that's out here in front of the building tonight. Of course, there are 2 questions that remain unanswered. First, what will happen now to this business, and also what caused the fire? Those flames burned the building quickly, but the answer to those questions will come much more slowly. Reporting live from downtown Mulberry in Clinton County, Niccole Caan, News Channel 18.
What have you learned?
Jeff, I learned it was a pretty major explosion that happened out here. Police say it happened about 9:10 tonight, and it was at 812 Brown Street. That's the home that's been converted into several apartments. The explosion happened in apartment 1. You can see here as firemen are leaving that apartment, they are hosing them down, scrubbing them, and washing them off. I talked to one man who lived in an adjacent apartment in the building with the explosion. He said that explosion was so bad that it knocked the blinds of his wall. Police also tell me they're no strangers to this residence. They were there in January for an overdose. If you're headed downtown, be careful. 9th Street at Brown is closed and blocked off with police and fire trucks, so you'll have to find a detour around there. But News Channel 18 will continue to follow this story and bring you more information as it becomes available. Reporting live from Brown Street in Lafayette, Niccole Caan, News Channel 18. The road was closed or partially blocked for almost 10 hours today after a chain reaction accident killed 1 driver during the morning commute. One Lafayette business had no choice but to improvise after it was unable to get needed supplies from Indianapolis.
A column of smoke and flashing emergency lights signaled drivers on I-65 southbound in Boone County near Thorntown would have a long delay. Drivers stuck in traffic sent News Channel 18 these photos. Valerie McCain, a florist at White Iris Designs in Lafayette, was on her way to pick up flowers from a wholesaler in Indianapolis for 4 weddings this weekend. She found herself stopped in the traffic tie-up.
We kind of had a flower emergency, you may call it. We didn't get in the correct flowers we needed, so there's a couple of wholesale companies down in Indy, so I hopped in the car, decided to take off and go down there.
She never made it. This wreck closed I-65 for most of the day. The accident was in Boone County, but traffic was so far backed up, McCain's car was stopped in Clinton County. After an hour's wait, she made a decision.
Realized it wasn't going to work for us. So we turned around and decided on doing something else.
Police say a semi traveling southbound during the morning commute flipped and blocked both southbound lanes.
While en route up here, we had numerous 911 calls of another major crash.
It was this one. Police say another semi possibly didn't see traffic was stopped and rear-ended another semi. The semi that caused the accident caught fire and exploded, killing the driver. For McCain, she began Plan B. She found another wholesaler in Lafayette and got what she needed to save this weekend's weddings. The southbound lanes of I-65 reopened about 3 this afternoon. Other drivers told me the delay caused them to miss or be late for appointments in Indy. Officers say they don't believe alcohol was a factor in this crash. The name of that driver who died has not yet been released because his family has not been notified. It's a special initiative that has been going on for about 6 months now. Troopers say they take seriously their duty to keep spoiled food off store shelves. The day is cool, but Trooper Ashley Kelly could immediately tell the food stored in this truck headed from Chicago to the Asia Mart Oriental grocery store in Indy is not.
There's an obvious temperature difference. Once we got into the truck, it is actually warmer inside the back.
Trooper Kelly stopped the truck on I-65 in Clinton County because of a traffic violation. She started seeing more serious problems as she began inspecting the truck's load.
There's cooked meat that's required to be kept in temp at 41 degrees. That we have temperatures that are in the 50s and even 60s on some dairy dessert products and some meat products.
The refrigerator unit never kicks on while the team inspects the products. The more temperature measurements the officers and Clinton County Health Department workers take, the more unsafe food they find. The pile of spoiled items continues to grow.
So far, this is our bad pile so far. We have things ranging from pork, cooked chicken items. We have dessert items containing like a cream cheese filling, any kind of dairy products, things of that nature. We have some tofu.
This meat even appears to have mold on it. Trooper Kelly says she inspected a truck from the same store last month.
I do not believe we had any food violations last month.
The 2 men driving the truck declined to comment on camera, but one told News Channel 18 that all the items were fresh, and this was the first time there has been a problem with their food. Trooper Kelly says this might be the company's first violation, but it's not the first time officers have discovered the problem on Indiana's highways.
It is a bigger problem than what we initially thought. We're trying to crack down and make our food items safer for our citizens of the state of Indiana.
Troopers say it's unlikely they'll catch every truck carrying spoiled food, but they plan to take as many off the road as possible. And that truck was escorted by officers to a disposal company in Frankfort. There, about 3/4 of the truck's contents were destroyed. A company founded and based in West Lafayette looks to the future after some good economic news this week. Good evening, I'm Niccole Caan. Glad you could be with us tonight. A company based in the Purdue Research Park is seeing millions of dollars in renewed interest from investors. News Channel 18's Aaron Leedy explains what that means for the company. Aaron, could that mean we see more jobs in West Lafayette as well?
That's a definite possibility for the future, Niccole.
Thank you, Aaron. An off-duty firefighter is able to act fast and save lives in a White County fire. Monticello fireman Brooks Ingalls says he was fishing in a canoe near a house on East Schaefer Drive when he saw a fire grow from a tiny corner in the side of the house. Ingalls says once he saw the flames, he paddled back to the shore and grabbed his phone to call 911. He says he was able to make it up the deck stairs that led to the house and asked the homeowner if everyone was out of it. Ingalls says when he entered the house, he searched the upper level and found no one. He says he used a water hose to start fighting the fire. Ingalls says he then went back into the house a second time to find a woman that went into the burning home to look for a family pet.
On my way in to find her, I noticed that there was a dog.
Ingalls says he is no hero and he just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Monticello police are looking for a man who robbed a gas station early Thursday morning. Shortly after midnight, Monticello police were called to the Admiral gas station at the corner of Fisher and North Main Streets. Assistant Police Chief Nate Miller says the robber got away with an unknown amount of cash, but the clerk was not harmed. Miller says the robber said he had a gun, but no weapon was displayed. He says investigators have a description of the man, but no surveillance video.
We're following up with some leads.
Miller says police are looking for a white male about 5 foot 7 inches tall. He was wearing a black shirt and blue jeans. If you have any information, contact the Monticello Police Department at 574-583-2256 or the anonymous We Tip hotline at 1-800-78-CRIME. Investigators say it could take a few weeks before they know the causes of death for 2 White County men whose bodies were found on the same property. State Police Sergeant Kim Riley says autopsies were performed this morning on both 42-year-old Charles Yakey and 59-year-old Lawrence Spirilla. Riley says Yakey was found unresponsive in his mobile home off of State Road 16 near Buffalo Tuesday night. Police found Spirilla's body in a camper that same night on the same property. At the time of discovery, police did not suspect any foul play in either man's death. For some in downtown Delphi, parking is a nightmare. News Channel 18's Tiffany Dismore explains why it has become such an issue that police are still issuing tickets for the first time in a long time.
Delphi may not be a bustling metropolis.
It's an almost invisible type of bullying, but it can have long-lasting effects. Purdue professor Kipling Williams has been studying what being excluded or ignored can do to the human brain. While physical bullying is easier to detect, Williams says being ostracized can have a deeper, more painful effect on someone rather than scrapes and bruises. Williams researched 5,000 subjects as they played a simple computer ball game. Within the game, the subject is ignored by other players they don't even know. But Williams found that in just a few minutes, the players reacted strongly to being ignored by strangers.
It actually activates the same part of the brain that is activated when we experience physical pain.
Williams says how people cope with being excluded can depend on their personalities, but he says for many people who are continually ignored or excluded, it can lead to anger, sadness, and depression. That's why Williams is now focusing on how those people may be drawn to more extreme or fringe groups. Some scattered storms moved through the area tonight. Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans takes a look at our forecast. Chad.
Yeah, certainly so. You did get some rain.
Simple challenges keep many Americans with mobility problems homebound. In a News Channel 18 special report, Balancing Access, one woman who went from being abled to disabled shares her mission to make the world a more accessible place, beginning with West Lafayette. Jan Myers is out and about in what she calls her blue buggy. Myers says she will continue to be an accessibility advocate for everyone, even as her own body continues to become less mobile. Nearly 30,000 people in Tippecanoe County don't have enough food to eat. In tonight's Heroes Among Us, meet a couple of volunteers who are helping Food Finders Food Bank provide food to those in need.
You're watching News Channel 18 at 11. News from where you live.
It's estimated more than 27,000 people in Tippecanoe County don't have enough food to eat. Food Finders Food Bank provides the needed food through donations and volunteers. Gina Quattrochi joins us with tonight's Heroes Among Us. Gina.
2 of those volunteers are passionate about feeding the hungry.
Your live Doppler 18 forecast.
Dry, warm weather, 80 by Thursday.
Wow, well, it'd be nice to have a couple days in the 70s at least.
Yeah, because it's been, boy, it's 90 yesterday, 90 the day before, and 88 today. We need a break already.
A little sweaty.
Yes.
All right, thanks,
Okay.
Chad. Mike Left's in the Sports Center with us tonight. Mike, the Bulls take on the Hawks, but the heat is still on.
Yeah, absolutely. Niccole and Chad, we will let you know if the Bulls have advanced to the next round of.
And now, sports from where you live.
They dropped to 16 and 20 on the season. And that'll do it for sports on this Thursday night at 11. Time to send it back to Niccole.
And Chad will take a look at your Friday morning forecast when we return.
You're watching News Channel 18 at 11. News from where you live.
All right, we've got weakening showers and thunderstorms moving through the area now. More will arrive overnight, early tomorrow morning. 64 noticed there in the morning, and then more bubbling up in the heating of the day tomorrow. 82 for the high. Perhaps an isolated severe hailer, but no big severe weather is expected right now.
All right, Joe, Laura, and Cameron will take care of you beginning at 5 tomorrow.
You can also check us out at WLFI.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.